Yo, the saga begins.
Hello. Welcome back. Video number 4, I believe. So, yeah, this is the real thing. I'm gonna keep it going. On my current schedule I got going right now, I think I'm doing about 2 videos a week, going back and forth between mock drafts and player evaluation for position groups, top 5, and that's what we got today. Last time I did the quarterback, so this time we got the running backs up here. Let me pull it up for y'all. See what we got here. Oh, shit. Don't pay attention to any of that. No spoil it. Okay. Ignoring what you just saw on the screen. Let's get into the top 5 running backs. Number 1, if you know anything about this draft class, is Bijan. He is the best running back prospect since Saquon. I can say that pretty confidently. Um, and it's just the perfect combination, honestly, between size, speed, strength, and you'd expect a guy like Bijan to just be worn into the ground, after 3 years in college, but that's actually a strength I have listed for him there. And you'll see for a lot of the guys on here is that he was not worn to the ground. Not many touches comparatively to some of the top guys you see, running backs. Um, he's only 21, and I think it's almost a guarantee that he's going in the top 20. I could see him falling out of that top 20, and if he does, Saints, Eagles at 10, honestly, I think could draft him, pick him up here. He also does have some injury history, nothing major, no ACL, Achilles, anything like that, but enough that you could see it reoccur in the NFL. If you just look at the raw stats, I mean, you can see year after year, freshman season, 100 touches, sophomore, 221, junior, 277. It's not a few touches, but it's a good amount, but nothing like you'd expect. And I mean, just look at the yards per touch, total touchdowns. He has the receiving upside. At this point, I'll link a video to some of his highlights so you can see for yourself. But yeah, incredibly talented. Just the most complete running back in this class, has the special runs that other guys just can't put together. Number 2, I have Jahmyr Gibbs. This is also pretty easy, in my opinion. Not as physical as Bijan, you could say. You could see by that size difference, about 20 pounds, a good inch. Only 20 years old, though. And he has that same low usage just trait that Bijan has. His hands, though, and his ability to affect the game in multiple ways out of the backfield is what separates him. But not just that, his explosiveness, I mean, he can go from 0 to 60 like that, and it's hard to just get your hands on him. When he has a clear line of sight and he knows where he wants to go, yeah, it's tough to bring him down. Obviously, like I said, not very physical. I'm not sure if he's a 3-down back. Maybe we could see it. You see guys like Devin Singletary being used in a number of ways. So I don't doubt that in the right system, he could be a 3-down back. Some of those systems, Saints just lost Alvin Kamara to the prison system. So they could use an Alvin Kamara-esque player in Jahmyr Gibbs. Cowboys losing Tony Pollard. I think Gibbs would be an amazing fit there. So if he does go in the first round, I could see the late 20s being a good spot for that. I do think, though, if he falls out the first round, he will be one of the first picks of the second round. And I have no doubt that with his abilities on a good team, he will be a dangerous player for many years to come. I mean, just look at the stats. His first 2 seasons were spent at Georgia Tech, just being the best player on a god-awful team. And then you see there at Bama, his junior year, less than 200 touches. That's just incredible. 1,370 total yards, 10 touchdowns. He was the best player on the Bama offense this year outside of Bryce Young. Not even close. If they needed a play, they went to Jahmyr Gibbs. I think he was their leading receiver in terms of receptions. I mean, to have your best year in the SEC on Alabama when they were in desperate need of talent, that just says a lot to me. This is one of my favorite guys. Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA. I mean, the biggest, most physical running back in this group, probably. Like, it's just, he is, it's hard to take him down. I mean, I'll just put it like that. When he gets going, you need multiple guys, and even then, he'll still get an extra 3 or 4 yards. You know, I mean, and he has hands out of the back. Like you'd think a guy like that couldn't be a 3 down back, but I think he can be. You know, he has surprising hands, and I think that that's a common trait now with running backs. You're taught to be a versatile guy. Don't be a guy who they have to take out on 3rd down. So I think that is a trait being instilled in a lot of young running backs, but still surprising, honestly, to see it in a guy like Zach Charbonnet. He does not have the top line speed, but I'm not really worried about that. He might run, like a 4.5, but you don't even notice that on tape, to be honest. I mean, he looks pretty fast, and he has the strength and the hands and the balance to make up for it, in my opinion. He could be a second round pick. It's just such a deep running back class where I could see him slipping to the 3rd round. But I mean, hey, if he falls to the 3rd round, whoever picks him up is getting an absolute steal. If you like this resume, first 2 years in at Michigan, I believe. Obviously, you saw the injury riddled 2020. And his last 2 years at UCLA just dominant. Honestly, I mean, 1,300 to 1,600, over 13 touchdowns. I mean, this season, I will link his tape from this season. Watch that. It is a sight to behold what he did this season at UCLA. A huge reason for their success in that Chip Kelly offense, and very fun prospect to look at and evaluate. Next up, Kenny McIntosh, player at Georgia, running back. He already has that going for him. Good size, you know. He is the best receiving back in this class. We'll call it like that. Similar to James Cook in a way, but I think he actually could be a better player than James Cook. Because he can be a 3 down back. He is probably just viewed as a receiver, as a receiver out of the backfield, kind of a gadget guy. But I think he has the strength and not a lot of wear and tear on his body to where, if he gets going behind a good old line, he can shock people with his yards per carry and what he can do. And like I said, the versatility with his hands. Only problem is, well, let's get to it right here. Not a whole lot as far as experience goes. Even in 4 years, just look at that. It took him 4 years to even get over 100 touches. And I mean, he was very good this year. Big part of why Georgia went undefeated. Over 1,300 total yards, 12 touchdowns. But, you know, you'd expect for a senior to have more than, 1 year of experience as a number one back, So hard to evaluate McIntosh, but when I just look at his hands and his size and his strength, he has too many traits going for him to be not in my top 5. You know what I'm saying? At number 5, this was a toss-up, honestly. You could have like 8 different guys here. I actually had a different guy here a day before making this video, but I did switch it out for Devon Achane. I believe that's how you say his name. Um, I don't know if he's 6 feet, actually. Let me see if I got that wrong. Let me make sure I had got this correct for y'all. Pardon me. Sloppy preparation here. Yeah, ignore that size. I had written this down incorrectly. 5'9", 185. Okay, so yeah, that explains the undersized pass protection issues with him. Um, he is 21 though, so at least that checks out. Um, with him, you see the elusiveness and the explosiveness. I know that's written down in strengths. I'd hope you see that, but he is a speedster. I like his ability to kind of weave through tackles. I mean, look at that right there. You see a guy's legs in the air, 6 feet in the air trying to tackle. What the hell? How did that happen in that picture? But he's a speedy guy. Issues with him, I'm not sure if he's a 3rd down or a 3 down back. I don't know if he has the size or the durability for that. His hands weren't amazing. Definitely didn't stick out compared to some of the other backs in this class. Not a great extended stretch of production, you could say. Let's get into the production. You can see 2 years as a starter. I mean, last season, 7.6 yards per touch. That's incredible. this season. Didn't take a big jump in production like some people are hoping he would. It's just tough to evaluate him. I do think it will translate well to the NFL. I mean, it's hard for me to believe that a guy with that type of vision and that speed, with next to no injury history either, it's just hard for me to believe that a guy that explosive won't translate to the NFL. But I do think there are enough concerns here to where you could say maybe put he instead of being a top 5 running back, he's a top 7 or top 8 running back. And like I said, there's a ton of guys you're gonna put here. I will link all the highlights to these guys I mentioned so you can watch for yourself. But yeah, that is my top 5 running backs. We will get back soon with another mock draft. I'll do my receivers soon as well. I might even upload a surprise tape evaluation. So stay tuned for that, and thanks for watching. I'll see you.
It's out the motherfucking back. Right out the niggas don't know how to act.